Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. So it's early January. I think I've had to film that twice. I said February for some reason. I think I said last time I'm getting into the year slowly, which is nice. I'm happy with that. I also feel like I deserve a slow start to the year because I was just so frantically busy in December that yeah, it's fine. I'm allowing it. So one of the things I've been doing over the last few days in my downtime is catching up with my creative journal. You might also call it an illustrated journal or a memory book. And basically what I do, and I've talked about this before, so I'm sorry if you're a long time watcher because you might have heard about all this before. So I'm relatively new to this, but I thought I would share it because I'm just so happy that I started. I only started in, I only started the year before last in 2022. Well, actually it sort of started late 21 and then went into 2022 when I sort of started getting going with it. So this is my first creative journal, and what it is, it's like a combination of diary and scrapbook and sketchbook in a way. And I sort of started it partly to practice sketching, get my drawing skills up, and that really has happened actually over the last couple of years. It's certainly got faster, which is what I wanted, because at the beginning every single thing I drew was taking ages, but that's definitely got faster. So yeah, I'll give you like a little quick look. So this is where I started in Oxford, 28th of August 2021, and so these are all sketches here, but then it goes into sort of scrapbook, and I've cut out things, leaflets from the museums that we went to. And then as you go on, as well as cutting out stuff, I started using stickers. So I just thought I would sort of share with you if you are interested in doing this sort of thing, because one of the other reasons for starting it is because there is just something in me that wants to record my life. And I don't know if it's because I've got a bad memory. I have genuinely got a bad memory, and I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget those exciting moments, those day trips out, or those funny bits that happen in your day. And I was finding that sort of thing was getting lost in my other diary, my other journal really, because I was using my journal a lot for just getting my thoughts out of my head, figuring things out, having a moan, that sort of thing. And I didn't want those two things in the same place, because I feel like this is like the highlights of my life and my other journal is like the lowlights of my life. I just think this is going to be something I already love looking back at it and remembering, oh yeah, that's when we went there. I'd forgotten we'd gone there that year, or whatever it is. And I just thought this was a really nice, fun way of recording those things. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I just encourage you so much to do something like this. I think it's something you'd really enjoy looking back on. And I have been a bit lax this year. I've got a lot to catch up on. And so while I was catching up on 2023's book, I thought now would be a good time to sort of share how I do it and give you suggestions on what you might need to get started. And of course the first thing to get started is a book to do it in, and you might look at sketchbooks, and that's not actually the right thing, because sketchbooks have a little bit of a tooth for drawing on. It holds the graphite or the paint or whatever. Even cartridge paper I wouldn't recommend. I like to write with a fountain pen, or if not a fountain pen, my next pen of choice is the Pilot Precise Rollable pen, and they're just not good to write on rougher paper. So you are looking for a book with smooth paper, and I started with this one because I bought it thinking it was going to be a sketchbook, and the paper was just too smooth and too thin, but great for sticking things in. So that would be my first bit of advice, is make sure you find a smooth papered book. So I would recommend this one, again on the fairy theme. This is actually from Paper Blanks, and it was just a plain paper notebook, and that's just perfect. Yeah, so this is the one I'm using this year, last year, 2023, and very happy with that. So that's definitely a book I would recommend. This year, 2024, I'm going to try this one, which was a freebie actually in one of those bundles from eBay. It's from Seven Gypsies. Does it have a particular name? Just called Spiral Book, 80 pages, heavy duty paper. Again, it's nice and smooth, and it's got this really nice sort of vintagey looking background. My only concern is there aren't many pages. There's plenty of space. The spiral bound bit is quite chunky, so it means that when I've got all the stuff stuck in, hopefully it's all going to fit quite nicely. So your pen of choice to write with, or pencil, whatever you prefer. I guess you could type and then cut those little bits of paper out and glue them in if you prefer to type. That to me is too much faff, and I like the feel of handwriting personally, but if that's something that worries you, the thing is to not do anything that doesn't feel right to you. So my cousin looked at my old book and she wanted to give it a go, but she didn't want to do the sketches, so that's fine, just do it like a scrapbook. You can also include photos. Again, I haven't got we just have such bad luck with printers that there's not even any point in me thinking that I could print out photographs, so that's kept, my photos are kept separately, and every now and then I get my act together and we print out photo book. We have photo books printed. Yeah, it is also nice to have photos as part of your memories, but what I like doing is combining those little drawings, and sometimes the drawings are from photographs on my phone, and sometimes they are out the window. I'm trying to keep it quite casual. That's another thing, is when you look at these flip throughs of other people's other people's journals, kind of think, oh, that's a lot of pressure to make it look that good. And what I would encourage you to do is just take away any pressure, because it's just for you. You can share it on the internet if you want to, but at the end of the day, it's for you and your memories, and to record those moments that you want to remember, and so don't worry about it looking perfect. Certainly my drawings are not far from perfect. You know, the drawings I did in the beginning of this one of Oxford, I mean, the perspective is so far off, it's ridiculous, particularly on this one. But it gives you an impression, it gives you an idea. You can see all the pointy bits of the buildings, you can see the spire poking out behind, and then I've got a little, again, this has gone off, it's gone wonky, but this is like a really curly fancy hinge of a door of a cafe we went in, and it's completely off, but the point is you've got an idea of it brings back the remembering, oh yeah, I noticed that as I went in to the cafe, you know, and it's just, yeah, that's something to bear in mind. If you're worried about drawing, don't be, just give it a go. Get those bits that you want to remember onto the page, and it doesn't matter if it's off, if it's wiggly or imperfect, and you will find that you improve anyway, but even if you don't worry about it. So, paper, pen, a glue stick. I use just a Pritt stick. For some of the things I do use, like for cards that are a little bit more hefty, or here I've got ribbon, a Pritt stick isn't going to work for that. So I do have a small, let me just grab it quickly. Oh, I can't find the glue to show you, but it's like this size, and it's got a top that you just sort of unscrew to open it and screw down again to close it. So it's really simple, you don't need a paintbrush or anything, and I use that for those hefty things, and it's just white glue, PVA glue basically, and nice and cheap and easy. Do just use what you have. I might be showing you some ideas, but start with what you have, and then if you get into it you can build up more fancier things if you like. So as well as collecting things, because that's the fun part, and you kind of have to remember as well to collect things, because I was typically getting out of the habit of picking things up and creating and collecting clutter basically. So I've had to get back in the habit of wherever I go is pick up that leaflet, pick up that map, pick up that serviette or that bit of wrapping paper or whatever, because it's just the perfect thing to stick in. So here I've got the ribbon that wrapped around the plant pot of the plant I was given on Mother's Day, and my Mothering Sunday cards, birthday cards, a flyer for a theatre thing that we went to, receipts. They're not very pretty, but I do glue in receipts. I just find it fascinating looking back and thinking, oh, that's how much it used to cost. Or actually useful for budgeting or working things out, you know. If you're going back again to the same place, you think, oh well, I need to allow that much to eat in that restaurant, or that sort of thing. Here's a little menu leaflet of a food fest at the Flower Garden food festival that we went to. This is cut out of a paper bag with the branding on the paper bag. This was wrapped around a croissant or something. I kept it and stuck that in. Tickets, obviously that's my flight ticket for that holiday. Cheesecake Factory, that's the serviette from the Cheesecake Factory. This was the trim that went round my parents' anniversary cake. I was one of those kids at primary school when you had a project. I loved it. I loved doing all the layouts on the pages. I loved creating a pleasing to look at page. And something else that I find really useful is stickers. So to fill in those gaps, say you want to write a memory of a day, but it was a day where there was nothing to collect, there was no leaflet, there was no serviette or anything, then what I use is stickers to help decorate that page. And that's something, it's not very expensive, but they can be. So I've just got 3 sticker books, and these are lasting me very well. So I bought this one in America. I'm sure somewhere in England, I'll tell you what, if you're doing this and you're in America, it's a whole lot easier to find the nice supplies. So this was Park Lane, 30 sheets of stickers, and it comes under Planet accessories quite often. So look out for stickers that are quite generic. This one is perfect because it's basically the seasons. And so you've got a few pages for winter and Christmas, then you've got some for autumn, plus some generic flowers, and at the back they've got like some food, birthdays. These little bunting flags will come in useful for decorating. That's been really good. I bought this. It's called the Antiquarian Sticker Book. Over 1,000 exquisite Victorian stickers. And I have to say, they are a little bizarre, and it has made some of my pages a little bit more whimsical, a little bit wacky, but it's fun. It adds a little bit of a fun element. I have talked about this. I'll try and put up in the corner because I think I showed you this sticker book in detail somewhere else, but it's quite useful. I've used it, like there's some animals that I've used it for like when we've been to a zoo or a wildlife park. Some of them are really odd, there's no getting away from it, and there's all these skeletons. Maybe if I go to a Halloween thing, I don't know. Some of these will get used, and the problem is some of them are so niche and then you forget them and you see them later and you think, oh damn, that would have been perfect for that page, but never mind. Anyway, that's a book I've used. And then I forgot that children's sticker books are half just scenes for the kids to stick the stickers onto. So I bought this one, which is an Usborne Doll's House sticker book, Country House Garden, and I forgot that of course half the pages are just pictures to add the stickers to. I had a forgetful brain moment, and anyway, but I have found that some of these bits I've been just cutting out and sticking in when they've been relevant. But I got this because we go to a lot of National Trust places, and the stickers are very relevant for that because it is all designed to work around a stately home and a garden. So I have used a lot of the stickers that are in the back here for like stately home gardens and just bits and pieces. So I found that one useful as well, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because I hate wastage, and I've got a feeling those front pages are going to be mainly wasted. So look out for interesting stickers. Another thing I like to use for filling in gaps and just creating nice borders, but I do use washi stickers a lot. So this is my collection, which is quite small on some people's standards, but it's also quite large for most people's standards. So washi tape is like decorated masking tape. It's like a paper tape. Most are quite thin, almost see-through. Some are a bit thicker, but that's generally the sort of thing. And we've got all these patterned ones that again, these have all come from eBay. So it's worth, like, if you're starting out, have a look on eBay for bundles of washi tape, and you might get yourself a bargain. Gosh, I've realised I'm rambling. I'm doing a ramble. Stop it, Helen. Let's try and get this a little bit more concise. Okay, so for my sketching bits, I just use a pencil to do the first lines. Then I use a waterproof liner pen. So these are from Derwent Graphite. And I go over my pencil lines if I'm happy with it. Quite often, not always, sometimes I just keep the pencil. Yeah, there's waterproof fine liner pen. And then I go over that with just regular colouring pencils to give the pages a little bit of colour. Cutting pictures out of magazines, that's always a good option. So yeah, that's really it really. You can take it as, if you get into it, I mean, look at YouTube for ideas, because some people really go full on and some people do amazing layouts. Mine are fairly simple really. I just use a bit of washi tape often to separate the day. These are a couple of those weird stickers. Here I've just drawn a square to do a drawing in the middle. These are bits I've cut out of a leaflet. Little bits of tape here, up here, just to finish off the page. Some pages are nicer to look at than others, you know, but I do like having that mix of sticker, washi tape and sketch, and then I'm happy with that. Oh, another thing I didn't mention is like maybe a felt tip pen or something like that. I use a brush pen to do the titles, and then actually I use just an ordinary felt tip pen down the side to write the date. And if you want inspiration, obviously, like I said, YouTube is a really good place. I've also bought a couple of books that I recommend. They're both by Helen. She has a YouTube channel as well actually, which I didn't realise until quite recently. So she's got Journal with Purpose, over 1,000 motifs, alphabets and icons to personalise your bullet or dot journal. This is just really handy, and I have used this as a reference when I want to do a sketch but I don't have the thing in front of me, or I didn't take a photograph. For example, the other day I wanted 2 champagne glasses, or a champagne glass or something like that. I suppose I could have gone in the kitchen and got myself a champagne glass out the cupboard, but I found one in here and I thought, oh okay, that's a good reference. And it's just got a few very simple drawings. Some of the things she breaks down to show you how to do it step by step. It's just one of those things that make it simple. So if you're nervous about drawing particularly, then this is a really ideal way to get started. Layout Ideas 101. Now this is more geared towards bullet journaling for sure, but it gives you it definitely gives you ideas, look, and it's just like, if you just don't know where to start, if you've never done this before and you haven't got that instinctive design sort of brain, it's just easy things. Like she's got washi tape down the back edges, and then this little sketch and a little doodle to underline the title. You know, it just gives you those basic ideas really. So the book that I really recommend is this one, and it's called Draw Your Day by Samantha Dion Baker. So her layouts are amazing and actually she talks you through the things that you need. This is her day. She sort of journals her day. Oh, and she overlaps all the different little things. Now my brain can't do that. I don't think I could do that. That's why everything is sort of separate and everything has its own little border, and some bits are for writing and some bits are for the pictures. If you want to get a bit more ambitious with your layouts, then this will give you some ideas as well. And I think this is also perhaps a more sketchy, arty sort of style. Nothing has to be like particularly amazing or special. It can be just your average day. So that's a book I recommend as well if you want some inspiration to get started. And there we are. There's that little segment. Not very quickly wrapped up, but I highly recommend doing a creative journal. So I will carry on with this one. I have quite a few pages to fill up still. I am regretting not allowing the time to do this throughout the year. It's one of those things you think, oh, it's so frivolous and it takes a bit of time. It does take a bit of time, there's no pretending it doesn't, but I am regretting not keeping up with it, because you do forget some of the moments, some of the funny things that happen. So this year going forward, I am going to try and make it much more of a weekly habit. Every single weekend I'm going to get out my journal and catch up with it, and if there's nothing to do, then there's nothing to do. I've had a boring week, then not to worry, but I will try and make space for it, because I know that this year's, at least the last third of the year, it's not going to be quite as good as it was in the beginning when I was much better at keeping it up. There will be, once I have finished, there will be a full flip through. If not on this channel, then it might be an exclusive video for newsletter subscribers, but I will talk about that next time. If you want to see the full flip through of the journal that started sort of August 2021 and finished at the end of 2022, that is on my Patreon. I don't talk about Patreon much, I don't keep it updated anymore, but there are about 60 other videos on there if you want to go and have a look, and that is paid for. It's £15 for that back catalogue of the archive of those videos, but yeah, somewhere on there is a flip through in detail of this book. Well, let me know in the comments if you do something like this, if you keep a journal. I know I talked about this before, but it's that time of year, isn't it, where it's a good time to remind you guys, if it's one of those things that you've always wanted to do, why not make this the year to get started? Because I tell you what, I wish I'd started earlier, I really do. And the writing that I do is not so personal that I wouldn't mind giving it to a friend to look through, or a family member. The really personal stuff stays in that other journal. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do today is really exciting. I am going to make time for my creative journal, but I still haven't swatched out my new bits from Christmas. So I'm going to open up my Cotman watercolour metallic pocket set and have a go at swatching these and see what these are like. Shall I do all of my Winsor and Newton ones today? So my next question to myself is, do I start a swatching sketchbook that's just for swatches? Ooh, maybe. I have done a few before. I know I started maybe about 3 years ago, and I got some new art supplies and I swatched them out, but like I said before, lately I've just been too impatient. I've just been wanting to create the big pictures, and now's the time I feel to slow down. Let's do a little bit more learning about the materials, the colours, the colour mixing, and yeah, I'm excited to start that. I think I'm going to do that now. Right, so I need to find my overhead little gadgety thing. I haven't seen where that is since everything had to move for the windows. Okay, I hope I can find it, otherwise you'll be over my shoulder this way. So I've just taken the dog out and come back and it started to snow. I can actually show you things like this now that the windows are new and clear. So it seems to me that it's the perfect time to be swatching paints. I'm just going to have a little bit of a drink and a snack and then get started. But how cosy for it to be snowing outside while I swatch paints. Okay, so I'm using my W.H. Smith's A4 sketch pad from goodness knows when ago. It's 135 GSM, which is much less than what I would normally use, so I'm hoping I'm doing the right thing using this one. It's one I have used before for a little bit of swatching here. So I think these here are the Derwent drawing pencils. These are see, this is the problem. I stupidly didn't write them down what they are. Here we have another load of swatching. These are Jane Davenport colours. I don't know what these are, and I don't know what I think oh, these are the Jane Davenport pan pastels. That's right. I don't know what these are here at all, unfortunately. I don't know why I didn't write it down. That was stupid. That was me trying out the drawing pencils. A couple of not very good sketches. These are the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Sprays that I originally had. I think I might have to do some more swatching because some of the colours of the ink sprays are not what you expect at all. But they are difficult to swatch because, yeah, they take up a lot of space. This is some exercises in the art course I did. yeah, so there's been different bits and bobs, but I thought, yeah, this isn't a pad of paper I'm likely to use for much else. Very smooth, I hope that's okay. I don't know why they make these boxes. Utterly impossible. Oh, is it so you can't return them to the shop once you've tried them? There's no way of getting this box open without tearing up the cardboard. If it's not right, it's best that you return it to the shop than waste it. Nothing worse than unused paints or art supplies. I don't know what this is here for. Oh, it is a sticker. Okay, so we have got a travel paintbrush. And for some reason we've got a couple of empty things. Why not just create more colours and fill it up? Okay, so I'm going to get a podcast on while I unwrap all of these. Oh, let me read out the names of the paints before I go any further actually. Iridescent blue, yellow gold, bronze, red copper, silver, pewter, iridescent black and iridescent white.
With oil paint, and there were 3 huge paintings that must have been...
Well, they are pretty. I have to say they are pretty. I'm a little bit disappointed with the pigment load, I've got to be honest. I'd hoped for something a bit stronger, but I suppose these are watercolours. And actually, as they've dried, they have shown up a little more than they did when they were wet, so that's nice to know. Using them is fun. The metallic pigment sort of rolls around in the water. It's interesting. So these on the right here are still a little bit wet, but they are shimmering something beautiful. The shimmer definitely shows up a little more on the black, but I know I'm not likely to be using black, I'll be honest. But I will potentially be layering over other colours, so things like the iridescent white might not show up at all on the white, but we'll do over other colours. And just to have that subtle shimmer, even if it is on white, I think that's really nice, that you don't see it all the time and then you move around the room and then you think you spot, oh, that's a little bit glittery, that's pretty, you know, that sort of thing. It's nice, I think. So overall, yeah, I like these. I particularly like having an iridescent blue that's a bit different to the normal metals that you often get. And the pewter is nice too. And the red copper, yeah, I like that. And interesting to have an iridescent black and white. So yeah, verdict on those. I like them. Yeah, that's pretty. I do like that, and I like the fact that it's quite subtle actually. Not so keen on this little brush. No, didn't get on with that at all. I mean, it's useful, it's little, but it's not weighty enough. It's just far too lightweight, which is great for travel, but it didn't feel comfortable in my hand, I suppose. Actually, I've just thought, for travel, this iridescent blue mixed with iridescent white, if I get that right, to get the sea, you know, I'm often going to Cornwall and trying to paint the view, having a little bit of sparkle would be really nice. What time is it? Oh no, I think I've got time to very quickly actually, let's swatch the Derwent Graphite. Oh, I thought I was recording. Sorry guys, I've been swatching the Derwent XL Graphite things and I thought I was recording. Oh no, so I've only got one left. And then I'm going to use, let's try a new paintbrush to see how this feels. I haven't washed these. I know you're meant to sort of wash them first, aren't you? But let's dive straight in. Well, these are the 6 colours / shades. So we've got very soft, soft, burnt umber, raw umber, dark Prussian, olive green. I love these. yeah, I just think they look beautiful actually. I can see me using these a lot, and I love the fact that because they're graphite you've got a little bit of that shimmer, and I think the wetted bits are still a bit wet, but I can just sort of see a little hint, I don't know if it's going to be picked up or not, of the graphite, because of course it's water soluble graphite. I found the dark Prussian and the olive green quite soft and crumbly, a bit more pastel-y than the others. That might be because of having more coloured pigment in with the graphite, I don't know, but quite fun. And I can see this blue looking, like if you like granulation, this is sort of like a way of achieving it really. And of course you can just paint directly. When I looked up on YouTube how people are using these, like most people seem to be just wetting them with their paintbrush and then using them like blocks of paint, and I'm kind of thinking, I don't know, what's the point in that? You may as well just buy the Graphitint paint pans. The point of this is to scribble and get wild, you know, so, but I suppose if you're going to use these a lot, it might be better value for money to buy these instead of the Graphitint paint pan, perhaps. I haven't tested that theory out, but yeah, there we are. Yeah, these are going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy using them. The paintbrush, early days, all I did was that, but so far so good. Really nice tip, and a nice feel, a nice sort of spring back, and yeah, carried a lot of water, so that's what I wanted. I think I'm going to do the Winsor and Newton professional watercolours next time, and I'll get out my old ones as well as my new ones, and they're going to take some time because I have quite a few. Okay, so make sure you subscribe if you like a swatching video, that will be coming up as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please share the link with a friend if you think they'd enjoy it as well. And don't forget to let me know in the comments if you keep a creative journal or a scrapbook or anything like that. And I'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye.